At the March 30th Committee of the Whole meeting, Council heard a budget overview presentation from the city's Chief Strategy Officer, 4 departmental budget presentations from the Fire Department, Parks and Recreation Department, and the affiliated agencies, the Lansing Economic Development Corporation and the Lansing Entertainment and Public Facilities Authority, as well as the Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan for federal monies from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD from members of the Planning Department. Welcome to What Lansing Council, a podcast transforming Monday night's Lansing City Council meetings into an enthralling recap. I'm your host, Jill Dombrowski, and today my very special guest is Erin Buitendorp. Erin!
Hello!
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Very short notice. I emailed you at like 9 p.m. last night, so I really appreciate your flexibility.
Oh, 100%. And I'm just tickled and honored.
Erin is the Community Development Manager in the city's Economic Development and Planning Department. Erin leads 6 dedicated staff members in ensuring federal HUD dollars reach the people and partners who need them most. She is a licensed professional counselor, creative artist, and Lansing lore preservationist. Erin came to public service by way of a decade in higher education, a term of service as an AmeriCorps Vista member serving the city, and an unshakable belief that good work and genuine joy aren't mutually exclusive. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I am a Patreon member, so I should fully disclose. But no, I just truly believe in what you're doing. And I was turned on to this by the local history office with Capital Area District Library. So when they shared that, it was just like, yeah, I want to support this passion project of Jill's. So yay, I'm just happy to be here.
Great. And tell us something you love about Lansing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I love our grittiness, our scrappiness, which sounds very like ode to the car industry. We rally hard when we believe in something. And I mean, full transparency, I live in Lansing. Yes, I work for this city as a city resident. I've seen the trials and tribulations of the data center recently. You know, we get tired. I know past guests have talked about some apathy. Oh, yes, because it's hard. It's hard to be passionate. So there's times when you get kind of trampled on, if you will. But I think I'm going to say feisty fortitude carries us through.
That is wonderful. It is feisty fortitude. You know, you got to push. Right. Mm-hmm. What are some other things besides the flooding you'd like to see changed in Lansing?
I think, again, past guests have mentioned about all the things that are all the cool things that are going on in Lansing, and that it's hard to find out about what that is unless you've spent time here and you find those pockets of people. And, you know, some of that is like a highlight of us. Like, there's so many cool, diverse, different, you know, creative personalities, but also I think that's one thing that is kind of a detractor for the newbies. Mm-hmm. And even as someone who, I was born in Lansing, moved away when I was 8 to Grand Ledge, not that far away. So far away.
Still different, though.
Still different, yeah. Very different. My mom was afraid of the one-way streets at the time. She wouldn't come downtown.
Oh.
Yeah, she was like...
luckily, a lot of those have changed.
And now we've gone to two-way, yeah. Uh-huh. And so, yeah, I know. I've seen it full circle. But coming back to Lansing in about 2003, this was after doing the Disney College program, and I realized that I started at a different university, and it just wasn't my bag. And so my parents were like, how about Lansing Community College? And I was so mad. I was just like,
how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? And I thrived like a flower.
Yeah.
Like, and it definitely took me a long time to find my footing. My amazing spouse, Paul, and we found the theater community. Just have found these amazing people and all the Peppermint Creek Theater and Riverwalk Theater and Icarus. And, you know, it's just on and on and on. And we've seen, like, you know, the rise and fall. And when I came to the city as an AmeriCorps Vista, and I started serving in Mayor Shore's first administration, and he separated the neighborhoods department out, it was like I truly got to know my city. Like I did, and that's where the love of, like, I was like digging in dirt and like pulling mulch on Pennsylvania Avenue. I know people don't love those gardens because yes, but and now it's all torn up. But doing neighborhood cleanups, seeing the flora and fauna and the ugly in between, and being chronically uncomfortable because I'd been in this like little utopia of Michigan State University, and then coming back downtown, even though I lived in Lansing this entire time, I didn't know Lansing.
Yeah.
And now it's like I love all the different people that I get to cross paths with, and just everybody's just so vibrant. It's so it brings me joy.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's something that I talk a lot about with some of my friends, and we call it type 2 fun.
Ooh.
Where it's not like I'm going to a movie. It's like we're working hard and doing something difficult together, and that brings us closer. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Type 2 fun, Lansing.
Right there, like that. Type 2 fun. Okay.
Great. Let's talk about the meeting from March 30th.
Oh, yes.
So a little bit of a rewind here, but you were there.
Yes, I was.
You were a part of the presentation, so thanks for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a committee of the whole to talk about budget stuff.
Yes.
So at the meeting, we have 7 council members present.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ryan Cost representing the 1st Ward, Dayanara Navarez-Martinez of the 2nd Ward, Adam Hussein of the 3rd Ward was absent by Peter Spatafor, Council President and Representative of the 4th Ward. Our at-large members are Tamara Carter, Jeremy Garza, Claire Martinez, and Council Vice President Trini Pelivanoglu. Also, Greg Venker, the City Attorney, Sherry Boak, the Recording Secretary, and Mark Lawrence on the Mayor's behalf.
Correct.
So we started the meeting with 2 public comments. And the first one, someone was like, data center. So we already know data center not happening, withdrawn.
Yes.
But at the time, there was like a little supplemental budget to the regular budget of $1 million of going forward year after year revenue. And this commenter was saying, I think we should use $200,000 of that to do a study of Lansing's information economy. So gather some more data on data. So that's not happening.
No.
Sorry. The second comment was focused on the Parks and Recreation budget specifically, and also cemeteries.
Yes.
So why are we projecting to sell half as many cemetery plots as last year? Why is the revenue down? Why are admin fees going up? These sorts of questions, lots of questions.
Passionate Lansingite.
For sure.
Yes.
So then we were into the city budget presentation by Chief Strategy Officer Jake Brower. And just a little bit of numbers here. So the total city budget is $307 million. And the budget season runs from July to June.
Yes.
So we're talking about the budget that will start in July 2026 and run through June 2027.
Yes.
So the city has about 112,000 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, 2020 census. Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to say 114, but yes.
Okay. So with that $307 million, the city spends about $2,700 a year per person.
Wow.
So that's my own just
No, I love the
analysis
breakdown and the imagery that helps my brain.
Yeah. So less than I'm paying for my Invisalign.
I hear you. Co-Invisalign wearer here. Yes.
Oh, dear. Okay. So for the budget that is not the general fund, so most of what we're hearing about in these budget presentations is the general fund. And that is the money that the mayor, the council can control. So there's $125 million from other sources that are earmarked for specific things that no one can change. Things like $55 million for the sewers, and that's a state grant from Eagle, $24 million for the roads, $8 million for parking, $8 million for retirement and fixed benefits, and $6 million for the Economic Development and Planning Department. So those are some big ones that they can't change. But we do have our general fund budget, which is $182 million.
Yes.
And the city employs almost 1,000 people, 970 people. Of that, 260 are police, 230 public service, 200 fire. So 70% of our total city employees are police, public service, and fire.
Yes.
And so almost 1,000 employees, that's about one employee for every 115 residents.
Oof.
So that's something.
Wow. Good math. Yeah. No, I appreciate you breaking this down because I'm just like,
so the general fund, that's the $182, is mostly we get that money from property tax, income tax, the Board of Water and Light return on equity, and some more state grants.
yes.
And those are coming from sales tax revenue sharing and also budget allocations from the state level. They have some money that they can decide how to go, and some of it goes to Lansing.
You got it.
So thanks for that.
Yeah.
A third of our general fund budget goes to retirement benefits, $52 million.
Wow.
To retirement benefits. So that's a lot already taken out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like me kind of looking through this and thinking like, what do I think is interesting for people to know? So now to what Brower is talking about. Brower is like, hey, we've got some new city fees. We can rent out the election office room for events, forestry, tree replacement fees. There's a women's wellness day happening at the Parks Department, and cremation tower plots, so you can pay to put your ashes there. And Brower says, the city of Lansing is here to serve you from cradle to grave.
Yeah, I guess if you put it that way.
He talks a little bit about the proposed data center money, so that's not happening. Talks about the $3 million for next year's budget for the NOVA initiative, and these are the pods that have been decided to go on that county property.
Correct.
Health department, county health department property.
Yeah, the park where Recycle-Rama is typically held. So now I'm like, well, where will that go? But again, I'm sure there are conversations happening. I'm just not a part of them, and that is fine.
Yes. Brower is also talking about how they are trying to build a new community center. So fill out the community center survey. And
I did.
Oh, good job. Kaczynski talks about that also in the Parks Department presentation. So Spatafor has some questions. He wants a little bit of clarification on the pods budget, some money coming from the Ingham County. So that's nice. Thank you to the county. And also HRCS, the Human Relations Community Service Department. They have saved up some money for this, so that's good to hear.
Yes.
President Cost is zeroing in on $2,000 in the city council budget, which goes to the 311 helpline, the phone line people can call into, and he's like questioning that. Why are we paying? Why is that coming out of our budget? And Brower is like, oh, if you don't want that, we can talk about that.
Yes. I don't. Again, I'm not an accountant by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, there's lots of budgety type things. 311 is one. I know that all the departments are supposed to pay like a building maintenance, almost like a rental fee.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah,
there's
that was
a lot
brought
of those
up.
different. Yeah, and I mean, I also understand from it's basically like pay your way.
Councilmember Garza is worried that we're not getting income tax from the independent contractors who are working in Lansing. And so who's on that? And Brower's like, yeah, the accounting department is their treasury. They're keeping an eye on that. Okay. So that was fine. Next, we had you, and you were introducing Doris Witherspoon.
Yes.
And you did such a lovely introduction. I love how you brought up some tissues for her. She kept it together, but that was really sweet.
If you know Doris, she always, when she comes into my office to update me on something, she's like, I need to grab it, and she always grabs a tissue anyway. We share post-nasal drip, I guess, together.
Tis the season.
Tis the season, I know. Sinuses forever.
Oh, my gosh. But you were talking about all the great things that she has done since joining the department 30 years ago.
Yes, 1994.
That's really incredible. And you were saying that if there was a Best Dressed Award for the City of Lansing employees, that she would win. And that night, she had an amazing dress on that made me think of a race car driving wasp being in charge of a political summit on a thunderstorming spring day.
I love that. It's like, yeah, I think like El Camino in like France or, no, Doris is a fashion plate. Like, and she's always like, like that was nothing, but like she'll make sure that her lipstick and her ear clips match her outfit. Like it's accents in different colors, and she's three-dimensional. Like it's just like, it's just so, you notice her.
Yeah.
It's
And
wonderful.
a great fringe game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, she's just so put together.
She's bringing it. So she was talking, Witherspoon was talking about the Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan, and this is U.S. Housing and Urban Development HUD monies. So there's like three grants, or
Yes.
okay,
So much and more. These are just the three we talked about. Yeah.
Okay, and these grants talking about in the presentation must be used for benefiting persons of low and moderate income,
Yes.
elimination of slum and blight, or urgent community need.
Yes.
So, I guess, are you focusing on one of those in particular, or like all three, or like, I guess, what's your like guiding star there?
It's so HUD, they put out what they call the national objective, and these national objectives, I mean, HUD was created in 1974, and so I struggle with the words blight and slum because I don't like those words.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
But these are words that they were created a long, long time ago, and so until they're updated, that's where we are. The goal is to infuse all three into the work we do. Mm-hmm. So part of what Doris and I were there to do is to provide updates on the annual action plan that we're required to do as part of our application process for receiving these allocated funds, these formula allocated funds through HUD. And then every 5 years, we are to put together a consolidated plan, which we're actively working on our next one for an RFP and so forth, because it's quite the arduous process. And so that will be gaining external input, so working through our citizen participation plan so that we're reaching all of the niche pockets. My goal is to be very hyper-local. Yes, there's the community, our anchors across the city, your Allen Neighborhood Centers, Crystal Ray, SWAG, Northwest Initiative, but there's also these niche groups that have popped up, and especially since COVID, just seeing how, again, going back to the passion of, sometimes it's a civic org that's just like a block long, and it's like, okay, well, their voice counts too. Mm-hmm. So, how do we make sure that we're going to where the people are instead of expecting them to come to us? Yeah.
Just a little bit on the numbers here. The Community Development Block Grant is for about $2 million.
Yep.
And a majority of that is going for homeowner housing assistance.
Yes.
So about $1.2 million I saw. And then there's the Home Investment Partnership Program, which is about $700,000, an emergency solutions grant focused on homelessness, and that's about $200,000.
A little bit more than that, but yeah, somewhere's around. It depends. Yeah.
Okay. I guess just from looking at this, I'm wondering, two questions I have. The first is, why isn't this through the Human Relations Community Services Department, number one? And number two, it seems like the least amount of money is going towards the people who need the money the most.
Hard-hitting questions.
Sorry.
I love it. No, it's fantastic. Some of it is actually, directly addressing your question, some of it actually is implemented through HRCS.
Okay.
So our ESG, or Emergency Solution Grant dollars, is so we are the fiduciary, our office, and then HRCS is the push it out into the community.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
And they're the ones that are monitoring and we co-monitor, if you will, but they're the ones that are like really feet on the ground and making sure. And then we also receive dollars, ESG dollars through MISHDA as well.
Michigan.
Michigan State Housing Authority. I'm forgetting one of the acronyms. Development Authority. There we go. So many acronyms.
Yes.
There's those dollars as well.
Okay.
And then we're part of the COC, or Continuum of Care, which is a regional collaborative. And so we meet, I feel like I'm in meetings with them all the time, which is great because I've gotten to know Child and Family Charities and Ingham County Health Department and Haven House and Loaves and Fishes. And, I'm rattling off all that, if it's a nonprofit, we work with them. And so those are monies that are not in a vacuum as far as the selection process. And that is a mandate from HUD. HUD says, you need to have a COC and do it this way so that it's not we decide who our friends are and they get the monies. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Glad to hear there's some checks on that. And
100%.
And it's part of a larger picture, I
Yes.
guess. This is just one part.
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. So there was a couple questions from the council members. Peli Voneglu says, are you evaluating your past performance? Can you give a few examples of your accomplishments and success stories? And you're like, absolutely. And you talked about the payment assistance to some housing folks, capital area partnership homes, and you talked about the Hillsdale project.
Yeah.
So I hadn't heard about that. It sounds similar to the Walter French.
Yes, kind of, but it's a brand new build.
Okay.
So, and I feel like, it's all these best kept secrets. But part of it, there's just so many things going on all at the same time. And so this is... Again, more acronyms, Jill. Home ARP funds.
Okay.
So right now, trust me. So COVID relief dollars. So the American Rescue Plan. There is a special set of money for the Home Investment Partnership program.
Yeah.
But through the ARPA, as you'll hear lots of city government people talk about.
But we're kind of coming off of those.
We're
funds
coming
now.
off of those,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So we have, I want to say 2030 is when they said, and you're done.
So still some time.
Yeah, we got some time. Yeah, but it sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Hillsdale, a big chunk of it is funded by us. Some of it's MISHDA monies and other, capital stacking. I learned all the lingo. And Tim Hovey is kind of leading the project. And the goal is essentially more like townhouse units, but it's directly across from Union Missionary Baptist Church. And it was city land, and then it was sold. And to have a designated rentals, I guess, if you will, that are people coming directly from being unhoused. So there's a process to it. Working with our housing partners, Advent House and the Lansing Housing Commission, and making sure that income verification, it's all of these different, like check all the boxes, but having toured it, the buildings themselves are very intentional. They're going to have like a community space, and it's just a beautiful, intentional unfolding, if you will. Yeah.
A real success story.
Yes.
It sounds like.
Yes.
Get that out there, Mayor Shore. This is what we need to be hearing about. So 40 units, I think?
40 units.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
That's a lot.
Yeah. No, truly. Housing. We keep saying this.
I know. And this is a real example of what the city is doing for people who are not making so much money.
Yes.
So thank you. You are doing it.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I'm going to say my team, because you're
team.
giving me the shivers. And I'm like, it's not just me, but thank you. Thank you.
But it is also you. So it's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's talk more budgets.
Yes. Fun times.
So we've got our departmental budget presentations. So we've got fire. We've got our new chief, Carrie Edwards Clemens. And she is doing a bang-up job talking about what's going on there. She's talking about the data-driven decision-making, that all the fire data is on one platform. They're in federal compliance. They're doing predictive analytics, and there's a real-time dashboard.
I want to see it. I wrote a note. I haven't gotten to circle back on that. I was like, ooh, because that gets my data brain going. But
I checked it out a little bit. It was legit.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Opening fire station number 2. She's happy about that. They've seen a decrease in response time in that area since the opening. So
good.
Very good. They're getting PFAS free gear for the firefighters. So that was a concern, like spraying the PFAS everywhere. So we're moving away from that, reducing our exposure to toxins and environmental no good times.
No, it's true. It's just like the more you know, you're just like, the world is trying to poison us.
Yeah. Focus of this year is the focus of the business of fire, but also medical, because of the 27,000 calls a year that they get. 22,000 are for medical and medical reasons, and 5,000 are for fire. So that's a big difference.
Yeah.
22,000 versus 5,000. So they've got special teams. She's talking about getting everyone EMT trained so that everybody can go out to those medical calls. Talking about special teams for hazardous materials handling, doing water rescues,
Yes.
rope and high area training for the 27-floor high building that we're getting coming in here, being built right now. Vehicle extraction, how to cut people out of their cars when those are all rolled over. And she talked about wanting to become a training hub for the area,
Yeah.
which I thought was really cool.
And it's needed. I mean, Lansing Community College, excuse me, fellow Star alumni here, they do a great job. It's just that, like, the need is so great because this is a prime industry example of, like, you know, you serve for 25 years and then you can go on to the next thing. And also, being a firefighter, so I developed Citizen Academy when I was at the neighborhoods department and learned a lot about fire and a lot of other departments. But learning from then Chief Mackey about the wear and tear, going back to the toxins, the high rates of cancer, the high rate, just all these, you're just like, oh my. And as I think Councilmember Garza said, like, there are heroes. Like, if we're going to put a person on a pedestal like fire, it's like, dang. We also need to make sure we have the education and the training in mid-Michigan. You know, I'm a one-car household. Not everybody has the means to go to these cities. Like, we should be able to have it here.
Right.
And we have the space to do it, too. And we have the talent and the brain power. So, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and kind of becoming a hub regionally. She talked about bringing in revenue, training people from other areas. So that was really cool to hear about. So she's talking about partnering with MSU to decrease the city's insurance rating. So there's the ISO rating. The Insurance Service Office utilizes a fire suppression rating schedule that assigns a numeric value to communities' fire prevention and protection capabilities. Those values are determined on a 1 to 10 scoring, and 1 being the best and 10 being the worst. So if you're looking for a reason to talk about how Lansing is better than East Lansing,
I mean, Parks and reference, I always say, you know, they're the Eagleton or our Pawnee, but yeah. I mean, I love you, East Lansing.
We have the better fire ISO rating. We have a 2, and they have a 3.
Oh my goodness.
So, ba-boom.
Yeah, we're number 2.
Sorry, East Lansing listeners. I know you're out there. You're still great.
Yeah.
But 1 is the best. So we've still got some room to grow there. So growing and learning. Garza, as you said, talks about how the heroes of our community, what else can we do to support you? Do we need more trucks? And she's like, a truck isn't going to get us to the top of this 27-story building. But yes, we do need another truck. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah.
Navarez Martinez is talking about, can you give an example of these predictive analytics you're talking about? And the chief is talking about kind of finding hot spots, areas where maybe people don't have their fire alarms installed correctly. So getting those fire alarms out there, talking a little bit about the data center. So, and this is, again, no data center, but when that was a potential to happen, there was going to be some money set aside from the data center revenue specifically for the fire department. So a few questions around that. Vice President Pelivanoglu is like, I don't like this. I don't like how money is being like held hostage due to this data center thing. Like, this needs to be in our normal budget. So some good comments there. Parks and Rec was next with the director, Brett Kaczynski. And he's talking about they passed a millage last year. The Fish Ladder opened, such a great example of private community foundation and city partnership. Looking forward to great performances there and some weddings being booked. A friend of mine.
Yeah, I was like, woo.
Yeah,
and they have like the backdrop of the river. And,
I know, so lovely. So that's something to consider. Talking about Moores Park Pool ribbon cutting scheduled for June 10th.
I know, I'll see. I'm like, again, it's always about inspections and all those things. But yeah, no, that's like, I mean, talk about the long game.
Yeah. So that's very exciting coming up. And then again, he's talking about the community center. So they're trying to get 400 responses from citizens on the survey that they're doing. He's saying the last time Lansing built a community center was in 1977. So we're doing a new one. Yeah, and Garza is like, let's put that in Ward 2.
Go Ward 2. I'm a Ward 2 resident. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And Kaczynski was like, maybe. And Garza
Yeah.
is like, just put it in South Lansing. Can you commit to that? And Kaczynski was like, no. He's like, what even is South Lansing?
Oh,
and
pish.
everyone was like, south of 496. So shut up. But it sounds like, they're seeking input, and the Schmidt Center is also, they're kind of getting squeezed out of there.
Yeah,
So that's too bad, because that's like a really nice central location.
It is.
So anyways, thinking about community centers, Navarez Martinez is like, I'm the advocate for Ward 2. Shut up, Garza.
I just love to see the new, I don't want to say new blood, but it's just really exciting. And Councilmember Navarez Martinez lives in my neighborhood. I'm like, yeah, fangirl. Made it well known that she's a professor in housing, and so I'm just like, I like that blending of using the data, not just an anecdotal like we feel, but no, we're using the data behind it. And she said, she's like, I'm going to make sure that my Ward 2 residents are filling out those 400 responses. I was like, yeah.
So that was great to see. And Council President Spatafor says, I'll see you June 10th in my bathing suit.
I missed that part. Maybe I blacked out. Not sure.
No, it was like during the changeover. So. Next, we have Chris Klein of the Lansing Economic Development Corporation doing his presentation, talking about over $100 million they've brought into the city this past year.
He's done a great job.
It's kind of amazing. Talking about the job growth from those projects, talking about housing increase from those projects. Something I think he's really proud of is this emerging developers cohort. So they're training up, they're trying to train people locally to be developers. So they had 20 people go through this program last year, and for their second cohort, they've got 25 folks.
Oh, great!
So really, really exciting, just to like get people going, doing their own work here to do the development.
It's really important that we have more voices at the table, and alongside LEDC, Ingham County Housing Trust has been doing the same thing.
Awesome.
And it's the passion and the excitement, and like we want to encourage that.
Yeah. Talking about some goals, so to promote development sites in Lansing and market them throughout the region and nationally. He's talking about how he's redesigned the website. They've added resources there. They're celebrating 50 years. They have a dashboard with all their past projects. Councilmember Carter asks, how are you proactively promoting our projects in the region? And he's like, well, that's like really expensive to do, but something we can do is like make sure our sites are ready to go. Okay. Yeah, so like the environmental impact studies have been done, and the infrastructure, all the hookups are there.
There's a lot behind the scenes. Yeah, just even on our own, there's a process there. Doris in our office does all the environmental reviews and for our projects as well as any federally funded projects within Lansing, and it is tedious. Props to just that component. And then, if it's an existing structure, you have to submit paperwork to the State Historic Preservation Office, and they have up to 30 days to respond. So it's every little bit, just you get a little bit further, and then you wait, and then a little bit further, and then, yeah.
Something for me for the Lansing Economic Development Corporation to focus on is there's so much vacancy. There's so much commercial vacancy. And it's like, why? Is there something they can do? I would love to see that to be a focus, because I know there's weird loan structures with these commercial properties, and you don't want to accept a lower rate because then it would devalue your property or whatever. But there's got to be something from a city overall that could be done there to make that more better, because it just seems like we have so much commercial space and it's super expensive to rent. And why?
I mean, great question. I feel it's interesting because my office is community development, so it's very well. My approach is focus on the community, and then there's academic development. And I feel unfortunately, there's kind of this weird delineation between the two. There probably should be more overlap.
Yeah.
So I will fully admit that that's kind of a blind spot on my end. And as a citizen, it would be really, or I should say, a city resident. As a city resident, it'd be really neat to have just conversations. It doesn't have to be a town hall. It doesn't have to be this like what's perceived as like combative
or like political
or political.
politicized.
Yeah, like let's just have like almost like the way, when the city receives funding and we are doing our community engagement piece, like let's just do community engagement. And if that needs to be through the Department of Neighborhoods, Arts and Citizen Engagement, then they need more staff. I'm just gonna say it. I know somebody's gonna be like, Erin. And I get that because it's budget. It's hard. And monies that need to go to so many places, but I just feel like there's so many additional things. We've got our boards and commissions, some of that, but that's still like a voluntary role.
And we're not getting a lot out. Not a lot of communication is coming out of those.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like the minutes of the boards and commission placed on file. Like for a hot minute, they were doing a little bit of a recap. And that was not, I appreciated that. But I'd love to hear like some more summaries of what are they working on? Like, what?
No,
let's
truly
share,
let's
share it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the last presentation we had was from the LEPFA,
Lansing Entertainment.
Help me. Lansing Entertainment and Public Facilities Authority.
Go. Yes.
So LEPFA is now being subcontracted out to these people who were AS something global, but now they are Legends Global.
Yes.
So Legends Global is there. They're talking about all their stuff. Silver Bells brought in $1.8 million, so that's good. Talking about increases to health insurance is outside of their control. They're looking for a sous chef at one of their locations.
Cool.
Check that out. They're talked a lot about some preventive maintenance software tracking to try to get some stuff done before it becomes a huge problem. They're working with their like global vendor list. They're talking about how many events they have, how Groesbeck is the best golf course.
I loved Councilmember Cost because I did the same. Like, wait, that's the only one we have, and then they was like, no, regionally. I was like, okay,
Greater Lansing.
Greater Lansing, yeah. No, I did the same kind of
greater. That word's important there. Best golf course in Greater Lansing. So again, LEPFA oversees the convention center, Jackson Lugnuts Field, and the golf course, Groesbeck Golf Course, the diamond in the rough, as Cost referred to it as. Garza is like, how are you increasing your operational efficiencies? And they're like, people are working hard. We have our Legends Global best practices. We're being proactive on the maintenance. So that's great. And Cost is like, what's going on? As you said, like Groesbeck is the only golf course in Lansing. They're like, no, regionally. And Cost is like trying to problem solve. He's trying to problem solve live with them right there.
Yeah.
And he's like, we got to get more people to the games. We got to get more people to the Lugnuts. And they're like, this comes out. I didn't really completely follow this, but it sounds like the Lugnuts is in charge of their own ticket sales and marketing. So not LEPFA.
I guess. Yeah. Every time I listen to a council meeting, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So, and then I was like looking through their budget documents, and the listed revenue from Lugnut Stadium is zero.
Whoa.
So it's like you're not even making money. Like if you're operating the stadium, then that means you're like operating the stalls for the food and stuff.
Yes.
Like they're hiring all the people to do that. So I don't know. Maybe they like missed that, or I'm reading it wrong. But
yeah, or we missed that insert, like it wasn't added in time or something. Because I know little bits and pieces, but I mean they have all those like theme nights and and I know they'll have like different. I want to say like Mr. Leslie's cheesecakes, like different people come in. So I don't know, like how does that all interplay with? Yeah.
So we're not getting all the answers there, but they do need some new HVAC overhaul, the heating and cooling.
Everyone does.
So like they need like $3 million for that. So anyways, I was just kind of confused. This was the most confusing for me because I know like with the convention center, we're still paying off just the building with this Tifa area downtown. We still have like $30 million to pay off there. Like it didn't seem like the convention center was in the black. So I don't know. There's some work to do there, but Legends Global is on it. So we'll just, and they haven't even been at it for a year.
No.
So maybe we need to give them some time to do their
Yeah.
update their vendor lists or whatever. Anyways, there were some action items that basically involved setting public hearings for these things. So for the community development block grant, the public hearing will be next meeting next week, April 20th. More budget hearings set, and something about there's no ordinance expiration dates anymore with the new charter. So when they pass like this codified
the codified ordinances for the city. Yeah, there used to be kind of a built-in expiration, and I remember it was like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, and Councilmember Hussein was like, so we didn't know this was a thing, and now we got to make sure that we're passing this every year. And so, yeah, they made sure to work with the Charter Commission. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that ordinances can't be changed, obviously, but now it's not going to be like, surprise, we got to, and scramble backwards. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So that was the meeting.
Yeah.
Any other notes, or you had from?
Thoughts? Yeah. No. I want to make sure I provide because I gave a shout out to all of my staff in the meeting. But I feel like here, it's a second. So I already mentioned Tyler and Doris. But I have Dirk Hampton, who is our front desk. I feel like a mighty stalwart, taking care of a lot of the calls, and most people that come in it's like, nope, that's across the hall, building safety, code compliance. But it's just, a consummate, like, just consistent. And then Jamie Garver, who is just outside my door. And Jamie is a powerhouse and just like fuels the fire and makes sure I get my stuff done, and is just outstanding as a person and an employee. And then Manuel Delgado and Kirk Luban, or Manny as we know him. I say, Manny is like the godfather of the Hispanic community. He is so involved in his church with Cristo Rey, and he's been on the Ingham County Fair Board. I think he still is. He's on the Sister Cities board. Like, his father was instrumental before 496 was built in the original Cristo Rey here. But truly, like, going back to, like, what do I love about Lansing? It is the people that are working for the city. I want to say, like, 99%. I'm sure there's always one disgruntled. But there's a reason why we're here. It is not the shiny, pretty work. It is not. We're usually, like, seeing the not so, the unseamy side, and,
gotta wear the right shoes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I know. And but yeah, it's hard work, but I think, like, you got to have a good sense of humor. And, one of my mantras is, you can have fun while you're getting the work done. And I feel like that's something that a lot of city employees, like, because the days can be long, but it's meaningful, purposeful work.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for all that you're doing there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're really, everyone at the city, thank you. It's happening.
Yeah.
Great. The next meeting will be, again, April 20th, and the guest on the podcast will be Michael McKissick of the Mikey 23 Foundation.
Oh, he's lovely.
So really excited to meet him. Thanks so much to my Patreon supporters. I have 33 members, which seems amazing.
Ooh, lucky number 3.
When I started this project, I was like, as long as 10 people listen to this, like, I'll keep doing it. But it's, like, so great to have even, like, triple that actually support it. So
it's amazing.
That's really nice. I really appreciate that. Just for myself, I want to give a quick shout out. I am teaching a large landscape painting class at the Tiny Bit of Wood, which is a first generation woodworking studio on Shiawassee across from Lansing Brewing Co. The owner there is going on maternity leave, so needed some friends and neighbors to step in and teach some classes there. So the class I'm going to be teaching, it's going to be really fun. Something I've been thinking about this for a while, but it's like, you take a class and you end up with, like, a little thing, and it's like, no, let's do a big thing.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, exactly. Like, physically, let's do something large instead of just, like, the paint, wine and whatever thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-foot by 3-foot painting. painting.
Ooh.
That everyone's going to do their own painting, and it's going to be not every painting is going to be the same. Like, you'll be able to pick your landscape, and it's just going to be fun and easy. No painting or art skills required. You're going to love it.
Oh, when is it?
That is good. Thank you. That is going to be it's going to be 4 sessions. The Fridays, starting May 1st. The Fridays in May. So 6 to 7:30, and then we'll have a show at the end.
I'm gonna look at my schedule.
So it's going to be great. Yeah, I really encourage you to sign up for that. And that is the meeting. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you to the Public Media Center for letting us record with you. And also, Film Festival is happening. So many great things. I'm planning on going to one tonight. I'm really excited about, like shorts. And those are happening at the Riverwalk Theater, the Robin Theater, the United Methodist Church.
Correct.
So all great venues, cheap, fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Fills
all
your heart. I went to one on Sunday with Curtis Chin speaking. It was a great Michigan read, and we brought our child there, and it was the first time that we were all in the same space, and Paul and I spent so much time in Riverwalk, and it was just so cool to be full circle. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, and my child's like drawing, the lights, the gobos and everything. And it was just such a full circle moment. It was really cool.
That's wonderful. So still time to check out the film festival. Lots going on there. And thanks everyone for listening.
Yay!
The end. Yay.